Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right, let's get our share screen shared real quick. Oh, wrong one. Come on, buddy. And there we go. Off we go. All right, here we go. So how to schedule showings. Jose, have you shown homes before? I meant, where are you at in your career at this point?
I am very new. I just wanted to show a house to one buyer only, so I have no experience.
You have access to the NJMLS or to the Garden State MLS?
I do. I have to both of them.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, what you're seeing in front of you is not foreign to you. You can you recognize it.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. All right. So let's just say theoretically we have a client. They want to see some homes. Let's go to the MLS. Let's go schedule some homes. Let's just say we they wanted to see these 2 or 3 homes. So how do we typically schedule homes? Well, it's going to be the instructions typically are on the agent remarks. So we're just going to go open up the listings that we're looking to schedule. Interestingly enough, that's one of ours, but it's okay. And at the very bottom, usually it'll say either use showing time, it'll say call agent, text agent, email agent, whatever the instructions say. Showing time is the kind of the easiest way to go. I'm surprised that many listing agents don't use it, yet it's a tool that they can definitely utilize. It's just super easy to go click and await your response. So we can use showing time, and when we click on the schedule of showing time, something does appear. This screen appears, and then we're just going to click on schedule of showing. But here, when you're picking the time slot, it will ask you. Let's just say theoretically, I want to show it for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Just pick one. So this screen pops up, and it's going to ask us if it's for a showing, a second showing, a virtual showing, which we used to do more of, less now. Yet we're still doing it every now and then, or an agent preview. Those are the prevalent ones usually we use for showing time. So an agent preview is when if you're just looking to go preview a home, you're going to mark it as agent preview. But if it's just a regular showing or a second showing, you're just going to leave the showing in there, pick the time, request the appointment. Depending on how you set up your notifications, it may text you, it may email you, it may call you. Just depends how you set up your own personal notifications on showing time. So that's the showing time card. Let's get out of here, go away. Here we go. All right, next. So on this particular one, it's saying home is vacant, but text the agent, right? So we're gonna go ahead and text the agent. And on this one, she's using showing time as well, but yet sometimes it might say call agent or email agent on a rare occasion also. Some agents just, I guess they don't like talking over the phone. They want an email to them. And we're going to await the response. Any questions so far?
No, good.
All right. So let's go next. So let's just say theoretically, whether we know the area, don't know the area. Let me go back for a second, just plug in some more listings. And we're going to, we have quite a few, maybe they might be in different towns even. On this pull down screen, there's different options, right? And the different options include the full report, which is usually what the agents like to look at, right? That's what we just saw, the full report. And when we're emailing it to customers, we'll go to customer report, right? So this is what the customer report looks like. At the very bottom, it gives us the opportunity to actually put the subject line there, email, a quick message, and click, send the email. So we have that ability to send to them as well. And then at the very top, where it's a customer report or full report, there is another option that says at the bottom here, so by alphabetical order, it says map listings. What is that going to do? Well, it's actually going to map your listings. So if you're looking for geographically which one is preferred to go to first, so you're not going back and forth and back, it will map it for you. And then at the bottom, it'll obviously the numbers, they correlate to the address. So you can kind of get an idea of what you should be scheduling as the first showing and the last showing and everything in between.
Got it.
What I like to do sometimes, I also like to print this page so the clients can just visualize it on a map where it is in town, because different towns have different locations, obviously. Also, let's just say theoretically, I'm adding a town. I'm adding, the next door town. Let's say a Hawthorne, but I'm also adding in Saddlebrook. These are like towns that border each other, and they're in 3 different towns. Just minimize the numbers here. So let's just say theoretically, I'm choosing, 3 homes in Fairlawn, 2 homes in Saddlebrook, and then like 2 homes in Hawthorne. So what does that look like on the map when we map our listings? So it's going to be a wider angle. Obviously, it's above, but you can see, it's on 2 different parts of Hawthorne, the 2 Hawthorne homes. There's 3 in 3 different parts of Fairlawn, and there's 2 in different parts of Saddlebrook. Yet, depending how you want to start and end, it'll give you a very good idea how you should be scheduling them. So let's just say theoretically, I want to work from north to south. Whatever number 7 is, I'll start from there because that's the northernmost property, and it'll be, I guess, the most productive use of our time. Will actually going one after the other, going straight down. So in this case, Lafayette might be the first, and 59 Ackerman might be the last. That's in Saddlebrook. If they're close enough and you have a hard time kind of booking one over the other, maybe you'll just do a slight back and forth. Like you see the 1 and 3 are close and 4 and 5 are close. You can always play with it, but you're going to do the best you can to, I guess, make the best use of your time and your client's time by doing them geographically. It doesn't necessarily benefit us or the clients if, let's just say theoretically, we start from the middle and then go to number 4, come back to the middle, go to the top. We're just bouncing around, up, down, up, right, left, right, and it's not necessarily the best time-saving method. Any questions so far? It's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, when you see me do it once and then you'll do it once, you'll get a good hang of it. It's nothing too complicated. Yet many agents don't know that they have this feature that they can map their listings. They just don't know it exists. They don't, I guess, scroll their options enough. So that's the sharing part and scheduling part. It's nothing too complicated. I will tell you that if you're going to be running late to a showing or you have to cancel a showing, let the agents know. Just it's the nice thing to do. There are times where the listing agent or the seller will accommodate, and they're kind of hanging out, waiting around for you. And if you don't cancel or you don't let them know that you're running late, they're not the happiest. Let's just put it that way. And so I think the polite thing to do is let them know, hey, listen, my client's running 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late. Now everybody's on the same page. Or, they might even come back and say, well, we can't accommodate 30 minutes later because of X, Y, Z, ABC, whatever their reasoning happens to be. And then, of course, there are times where the agents, they have to drive from wherever they're driving because they're the ones that need to provide access. Of course, they didn't tell us, the buyer's agent, that they're the ones providing access. And, we decided that after the client called us and said, or texted us and said, listen, we can't make it today. We didn't reach out to the listing agent, didn't let them know. And then, of course, they're driving 20 minutes. They're hanging out for another 15 before they call you, and they have to drive 20 minutes back. They're not very happy. So let the listing agents know that you're running late, or let them know that you'll have to cancel for whatever the reason might be. So it's just the polite thing to do. Also, don't show up to it's one of the don'ts. As an agent, you don't want to be showing up to listings that are not confirmed, that you didn't request, or you didn't get confirmed because, well, you might get into have a discussion soon after that isn't a pleasant one. Nobody likes surprises, including sellers, especially if they live in the home, or agents that didn't provide you access for one reason or another. So let the agents, let the sellers know that what's going on, get everybody on the same page. It's always, communication is always a great tool to have your discussions, meetings, conversations, experiences go smoother. Unless you don't like it smooth, then by all means, just try to miscommunicate. It's not gonna end well. But it is what it is. Just I think that us as agents, we can do a little bit better job of communicating sometimes. Any questions so far?
No, that was good. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so let's say we've scheduled the property. We've mapped everything out. We know exactly where we're headed. And now we're about to show homes. What needs to happen before we show a home? What happens before we show a home? What's something that might help us be more professional, might help us have a higher quality of conversation? What's something that can happen before we even begin showing homes? Let's just, and we know which homes we're showing.
Find out information about the home.
Yeah.
Read everything.
Yeah, know the info for the home. It's a pretty simple thing to do. How long does it possibly take? Maybe a minute or two to look over the information for the property, so that we're well aware of what we're walking into, and we'll be able to answer any simple questions that the client, the buyers, may be asking. And the questions they ask, they're pretty straightforward. Something too complicated. How many square feet does the house have? When was it built? What are the taxes? Maybe they might ask what the schools are, what they're zoned for, how the schools are. So you want some basic information about the property, also basic information about the surrounding area.
Okay.
It is likely that they may ask, where's the nearest transportation? Where's the where's the schools? How many high schools? How many middle schools? Some basic information about the surrounding town and about the property always is helpful. Now, let's just say theoretically we pulled up to the house. We don't have time to look up the information. We do have access to the NJMLS app, and honestly, like seconds, in like 5 seconds flat, you can pull up the information for the house, and you have it at your fingertips. And it's just it's a very useful tool to look up the information and just be a little bit more prepared, even though it's last second. So we have access to the tax records. We have access to the MLS detail sheets from the NJMLS app. Of course, we want to make sure that our e-keys are working, because if your e-keys are not working, then, well, you're not getting into that property. Many of the lock boxes, of course, you'll need, there'll be electronic lock boxes, not the combos. And you'll need the e-key to be working just fine. And of course, if it's a combo, if we don't know the code, it's not going to help us out too much as well. When it comes to the electronic lock boxes, there are different kinds of MLSs, right? New Jersey, unfortunately, does not have one MLS. It has, I think it's like 8 MLSs or 9 MLSs. I don't even know, because I don't even know what the other ones are. In our area, the most commonly used MLSs are the NJMLS, the Garden State MLS, and for some of you may be the Hudson MLS. So those are the 3 that we find here in North Jersey. Now, if you have access to the NJMLS, that doesn't mean you have access to the Garden State MLS lock boxes if you don't have the Garden State MLS. So what we don't want happening is that we show up to a property which is only listed on one MLS, not the other. And of course, it's the lockbox for the MLS that we don't have access to. So let's just say theoretically we have access to the NJMLS. We do not have access to the Garden State MLS, and this property is only listed on the Garden State MLS, and it has a Garden State MLS lockbox, and our e-key is not going to work on it. We're going to get locked out. Now, good news is it's not that expensive. The MLSs, they tend to run somewhere between $160 and $180 a year. So if you have one, that's what it'll cost you to pay for the other. I just saw I think the rates went up a little bit. It used to be $62.50 every 6 months for the Garden State MLS. I think it's now like $80 or whatever it is. But for the $160 or whatever it costs, it's worth it, because that one time we get stuck outside of a listing because it is a Garden State MLS lockbox and we don't have access to it. It's worth the headache of just paying $160. And it will happen. It might happen it might even be more likely to happen if you live and work in an area that's more fluent in the Garden State MLS than compared to the NJ MLS. You know, if you're going into, you know, Morris, Essex, even Passaic County, many of them might just be in the Garden State MLS, not in the NJ. They might be in the NJ, but not all of them. So just, you know, if you can, I do encourage you to have access to at least those two MLSs. Now, if you are working Hudson County, you definitely want to have access to the Hudson County MLS as well. So it just depends on where you're working. If you're never going to work in Jersey City, Hoboken, or you know, any other towns in Hudson County that use Hudson MLS often, then you don't have to worry about it yet. You know, if you are, then you might want to consider that. Any questions so far? I know I talk really fast.
No, no questions.
No, okay, great. So we've scheduled with the client. We've scheduled the homes. We're you know, we know the basic information for the property. We know the basic information for the surrounding town. We may have even previewed homes in that town, or seen the inventory in that town, or even seen the home physically, the one that we're showing, which goes a long way. Your quality of conversation will be at a much higher level if we've actually seen the home that we're about to walk into. Because you know, we know the layouts, we know the pros, we know the cons. We know if it's going to be a good fit for our clients, it's not going to be a good fit for our clients. So if you have the ability to actually preview or see the inventory before your clients do, it does go a long way. What we don't want occurring is that they walk into a house and like, man, this is way off. Like this isn't even close to what we're looking for. No, we don't want to hear that. It's like we didn't do our job. So you know, preview homes, see the homes if you can before your clients do, and it will go a very long way in your conversions and also save you time. You know, if they're asking to view properties that you know is not a good fit, we can call it to their attention. Hey, Mrs. Buyer, this property isn't necessarily a good fit for you because of X, Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever the case may be. Do you still want to go see it? And they may say, no, you know what, if it doesn't have a backyard, or it's a corner lot, it's a busy street, it's a flood zone, and yeah, don't worry about it, I don't want to see it. If it has no dining room, nah, don't worry about it, I don't want to see it. So, you know, we can call to their attention whatever, you know, is important to them. So if it's important to them to have a, you know, a basement, then you might want to call it to their attention if it does not have a basement before you actually go show them the home. And if they're looking for a 2-car garage and it only has a 1, you may want to call that out. And if it doesn't have central cooling, you may want to, and it's really important that it does for them, right? Everybody has their own personal preferences, then you may want to call that to their attention. They don't necessarily pay attention to all the fine details of a listing. Yet if we know that there's a something that's important to that client, or it's a non-negotiable for that client, we do want to present it to them just to make sure that we're not wasting our time or their time. And that'll come down to, of course, the needs analysis, or just listening for their feedback and you know, paying attention. So we're going to show them the home now. As we enter the home, we're going to go through the property. What now? What's an agent going to do now? So you enter the property. What do you do as an agent? Or what are you doing?
Turning on all the lights.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And it's no fun, especially like the way it is right now. It's kind of dark now. If you're walking to a house and it's dark, it's a cloudy day, you want to get the lights on. And then, of course, don't forget to leave everything the way you found it.
Oh, yes.
So if the lights were off, shut the lights off. If the doors were closed, close the doors. Leave it the same way you found it. It's always a good idea. Last thing we want is a phone call from a listing agent that the seller complained that you know, you left the lights on, or the blinds open, or I don't know, the back door open, or the key in the door, or whatever fun stuff happens at a showing, or you let the cat out, or a cat is in the house but it's not their cat. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen, right? So we definitely want to leave it the way we found it. So you want to get the lights on, and then what? What are we doing? What are we doing on our showings as we're walking through the house?
We're talking about the property, right?
Yeah, we're looking to obtain feedback, and you know, I discovered it many years ago. I don't need to tell people where the kitchen is. They can figure that one out. And I don't need to tell them that this is a kitchen. They can figure that one out. What I'm looking for is to obtain information about what they're thinking about the kitchen. What are their thoughts about the living room? Do they like the basement? Is the backyard big enough, small enough? What are they thinking? What are your thoughts? That's what I want to know. Give me some feedback. You want to discover a little bit more about them when you arrive in the kitchen. So who's the chef? Who's the cook? Who makes dinner? Who makes the best pizza? Whatever. You can ask them any stupid questions. They'll answer, and you'll obtain a lot more information that way. So you'll discover how important the kitchen is. How small they like it, how big they like it, if they need backsplash, they don't need backsplash, if they like stainless steel appliances, they don't like stainless steel appliances, if they need a dishwasher, they don't need a dishwasher. There's so much information that we can obtain from showing homes, yet many agents, they're just trying to sell the house. So what are they doing? Saying, look at this amazing kitchen, look at that huge bedroom. Yeah, we have to discover information, what they're thinking. If it's just going to be us talking all the time, and we're just telling. Well, telling is selling, and that's not necessarily the approach that I would encourage you to take. I would encourage you to take the consultative approach, the approach where we advise them, and we can only best do that if we have the information at hand, which is, well, we're going to ask questions. So you're going to ask the questions, and we are going to listen. So we're not going to tell and sell. We're going to ask and listen. That's what we're going to do. And then that way, we also have a special ability. That special ability is to tell them, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, this house doesn't work. Based on what you told me, based on what I know, it's not going to work because the kitchen's too small. Or based on the fact that there's too much updating that needs to be done to these bathrooms. You told me you didn't want to do too much work. You told me you needed at least 2 full bathrooms. This only has 1 full bathroom. Whatever the case may be, based on their feedback, we're going to have a special ability, and that's to tell them to go see this house or not to go see this house. And we can only do that with listening. Listening is one of the most active things that we can do. Even though it's considered a passive activity, it's actually the most active thing we can do as agents, because it will help us guide them. It's important to understand that they're looking to us to be the leader in the relationship, the guide, the advisor, the consultant. That's what they're looking for. That's why they need us. If it was just to open doors, and they can go to any agent for that. Any agent can open a door. Yet not every agent can be a good guide, can be a good advisor. So that's where value proposition comes in. And we can only obtain information as if we ask. So ask and listen. So we're gonna walk through the property. Maybe they didn't say anything. Maybe they were talking the whole time. Maybe they were whatever the showing went like. We're going to let's say exit the property. Now what happens after we exit the property?
We put the key back and we text the agent that we left the house. You could.
That'd be nice. Actually, I don't do that, but that'd be nice. I'll tell you, I learned the hard way that I have trouble walking and talking. And what I mean by that is because I take the key out of the lockbox. I'll open the door. I'll hold on to the key. I'll start walking and I'll talking, and I put the key down, or I put it in my pocket, and I forget. And I forget where I put it, and problematic. So what I started doing many years ago is I used to leave the key in the door, and it doesn't get lost that way. So I just leave it in the door. I see a lot of agents actually take the ejection cell, the bottom piece of the lockbox. They'll put the key in and they'll leave it by the door because they don't want, let's say, that recently we've had many showings that piggyback or scheduled at the same time, so they'll take the key and the ejection cell and they'll put it inside, and then when they walk out, it's right next to the door. But see, so what I'm looking to communicate or convey to you guys is that have a strategy as to what you do with the key as soon as you enter the property, and just repeat it over and over and over again, so you don't lose the key, so you don't walk off with a key, or you don't misplace it, because it's not fun, and it's kind of nerve-wracking actually if you can't find the key. So we're gonna put it back, and then when we exit the property, what kind of conversation, discussion are we having with the client?
Do they want to make an offer?
Yeah, do you like this enough to live in it? Right, that's a good way. There's different ways that we can phrase it, and they may say, yes, I love it, amazing, here's my peer approval letter, send me the offer, send me the documents, right? Or they might say, you know what, we have to think about it, yet we do want to ask them if they like it enough to live in it. Do you like it enough to submit an offer? How does it compare to the other properties? What's missing? A lot of times they'll say, no, we're not interested. And then the discussion ends. Yet we can obtain value out of that discussion. There's always a silver lining in everything that we do. And showing homes, at the end of it, if we're asking them, well, what's missing from this property? What would make it better? And they might say, well, I'm looking for a tub in the shower, or I need a second bathroom, or I really need that fence around the yard. I don't want to spend the money. Whatever they say, it does provide value, and it does go a long way in helping us save time for everybody. So we're going to go and based on what they tell us, we're either going to submit an offer, or we're going to create a top 2, top 3 list. We're going to ask them to not remember every property because they'll get confused, but to just remember the top 2 options, and then we'll compare everything to those options. Even if whether they like it or not, enough to submit an offer on it or not, we still want to use it as a comparable, since there's always another property that comes to market, and we can always compare them as far as being superior, inferior, and if it's going to be a good fit for them. So I spoke really, really fast. I covered a good amount of material. Do you guys have any questions about anything?
I do have a question, might be silly, but I want to know, is it okay as an agent to go and view the house before you go with the actual buyer? Is that okay, or?
I would recommend it, actually. I'd recommend it. So, and it's for different reasons I recommend it. How long does it take to do a showing, give or take, on average?
Mine took about 20 minutes, half an hour. That's
okay. Now, how long does it take for you to preview a home?
Oh, probably 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Not even. It's probably somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, if you let's just say you pick any town. In that town, how many homes are in the price range your clients are looking for? Let's just say they're looking between 500 and 600,000 in this specific town. How many homes can there possibly be in that price range? 2, 3, 4 homes in that price range? Okay, so it would take us just as long to see all the inventory in their price range to preview on our own, compared to just, it's the same amount of time to show them just one. Now, what that does, it gives us a special ability. It gives that special ability to tell them if it's a good fit or not. So we don't have to waste our time or their time. Now, there's also another advantage, another benefit to us as agents. All of a sudden, we become the experts in the inventory in that price range or in that town if we've seen all the inventory. Are you an expert in the inventory if you've seen all the inventory? Yeah, of course you are. You know the layouts, you know the pros, you know the cons. You can have a much higher quality discussion with your clients in regards to the current inventory if you've physically seen it. There's a line that we always use with our clients. Pictures are 100% deceiving 100% of the time. You have to physically see it. It does look different in person compared to seeing the pictures online. Everything always looks a little bit better online, bigger online, more sparkly online, more light online. It's not necessarily like that in person.
Now, you would still go through the same process of scheduling with the agent and showing time?
I would.
And
I do.
yourself?
I actually do it,
Okay.
and I make all the other agents on our team do it as well.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, so it does benefit us and the client when we go ahead and do some footwork beforehand. And if you ask the top agents, like I'm not talking about agents that do let's say 1, 2, 3 million. I'm talking about the agents that do 10, 20, 30 million, 100 million. Those agents, are they previewing homes? Are they seeing the inventory before their clients do? And the answer is yes, they do. Well, what about the agents that do 1, 2, and 3 million? The majority of them are not. So to be a successful agent, I can give you the recipe, just like I can give you a recipe for a cake. One of the ingredients for the recipe is to be an expert in the inventory. And that's what all the top agents do. They know that those are one of the ingredients in the recipe to be a successful agent. Our conversion, our lead conversion is so much higher and so much better if we're experts in the inventory. And all you got to do is go see some homes. Now, initially, it may take you sometimes. So let's just say if there's 12 homes or 24 homes in an area, in a town that you want to be hyper local and expert in, well, it's going to take you initially a little bit of time to go see everything, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it may be. Eventually, when you do see everything and you're consistently viewing the new inventory, well, how many new homes come to market every single week? 2 homes, 3 homes, and that's all you're going to have to see consistently week over week, just the new ones. So the hard part is actually seeing everything up front, and then it gets easier when you just have to see those 1, 2, 3, 4 homes week over week. And when we have conversations with our clients, and it doesn't matter if we're having conversations with the client that's off online or an open house or a referral, wherever they come from, the quality of those conversations are completely different. Let's just say there's 2 scenarios. Or there's one scenario where you've seen the property before you actually show it, and there are the other scenarios that you haven't seen the property before you show it. Is one scenario is a better quality conversation than the other? Yeah, of course, you're gonna have a better conversion if you're an expert in the inventory. So all you have to do is a little bit of footwork, and if this is our full-time job, I get it when somebody has another full-time job where they're dual career. Yet if it is our full-time job and this is what we're doing all day, you should have some time amongst those 7 days of the week to go preview some homes in your niche, whatever that may be. So it does go a long way if you're looking to improve your conversion. And what you'll find is that many agents, they may or may not struggle with lead generation. Yet the real issue, and they're typically unaware of it, is that lead gen is not the biggest issue with many agents. Lead gen is only the first part. The bigger issue is your lead conversion. And lead conversion is based on skill set. Now, how do we develop skill? How do we do that? Well, you can become an expert in an area or an inventory or in a specific type of product by seeing the inventory. And that's all you have to do is so you can improve your skill set, which will improve your conversion. So when your lead gen creates those opportunities for you, you don't have to have as many conversations. It's called working less, making more. That's what skill set, that's what conversion does for our businesses. Yet we have to do the legwork. We have to put the footwork in. We have to spend the time, the energy, the effort to become those local experts. And you have to spend as much time becoming a local expert as you do on your lead gen. Because lead gen is only one part of it. Lead conversion is the other part. And you can have as many leads as you want. If you don't have skills, then you will have a terrible conversion, and you're gonna have to speak to a lot of leads. So generate the skill and improve your confidence at the same time. It will definitely improve your confidence, which will also improve your conversion. And all you have to do is go see some homes. So I guess short answer, long. Go see some.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes I just get excited and I just keep talking. Yeah, and I speak really fast too. Anything else before we end the call?
No, that was it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, and I trust that you show enough homes, you'll submit offers, and if you submit offers, you'll get some accepted offers. So the goal is get the meetings, because meetings will dictate how much business we have. Because I know for a fact that if we don't have meetings, then we're not going to be able to submit offers, and we're not submitting offers. We're not going to have accepted offers. And we don't have accepted offers, we won't have any closed pieces of business. So get the meetings. How do we get meetings? You got to have conversations. You got to have real estate related conversations with as many people as you possibly can. You create that lead pipeline, because there are 3 types of pipelines. There's your lead pipeline, your pending pipeline, your closed pipeline. Well, if you want to close good closed pipeline, you have to have a good pending pipeline. If you want a good pending pipeline, you will have to have a good lead pipeline. This is a contact sport. This line of work we're in called real estate, not the football kind. It's more the having conversation kind. It is a contact sport. Go out and have those conversations. It will improve the likelihood you have success and longevity in this line of work called real estate, this career we've chosen called real estate. Now, I always end the calls with welcoming you to reach out to me. Give me a call, text, email, whatever method of communication you want. I'm always very responsive. If you need help with anything, I'm here for you. Don't be shy. It's my pleasure to help you guys out. And if you're in the coaching program, I'm in the Whitcliffe Lake on Mondays. I'm in Rutherford on Fridays. If you're looking to meet face to face, and you have Arlene and Kathy to lean on as well. We're here to help you succeed. Here to help you get to where you want to go faster. So if you need anything, just reach out to us. Okay, guys?
Thank you.
All right. I trust you got some value out of today. In the meantime, be well. Have a great night.
You
Thank
too.
you. Bye.
Bye.